All right, everyone. I am back, part two of today, where the MACD has confirmed. And the reason I'm starting exactly where I left off is because I want you all to see what's actually happening right now as I'm talking. I left off on the 4 hour chart where I explained that this anomaly has never happened before. And you can see Bitcoin right now is struggling against the 50. Now, in my last video, literally, I just recorded, you saw the 10 day. The 10 day was sandwiched right in between. Look what just happened. In the time that I published the video till now, the 10 day moved up above the 200. So, again, I know it seems really hard for people to believe, but the MACD is signaling, and it just confirmed today that a breakout is coming. And I know a lot of technicians are like, fuck that, that's not possible. We got to go to 20K before whatever, right? But I follow the charts, and the charts are not saying to get out yet. But notice right now, Bitcoin is struggling to push across the 50. The 50 here is 30,272, which is we're right there. Like we're literally at its doorstep trying to push up above it. And we just started the new candle. So this is 3 hours 57 minutes left because it's the 4 hour. So I was talking when we were in this candle, and look, the triangle was saying we're gonna crash. We didn't. And so right now, again, the confirmation might be what's pushing us higher. So keep an eye on the 4 hour. Make sure you have the 200-day moving average and the 50. And what you want is you want the price to be above the 200, which is 30,316. You get above here, then yeah, the breakout will begin to run up. But you see, like this is fucking stupid. Anyways, I'm not explaining anything. I'm just going to jump into their systems because I said that this second video was going to be for all the other systems. So this system right here, it's specifically tailored to the Nasdaq, right? And so I kind of configured it to showcase how to look at the Nasdaq and get an idea of how this one works. So I'm gonna switch this to the 2 day because that's where we have the death cross. We got the death cross right here on May 24th, and what happened was we were already going into it as of April 1st. So one thing I want everybody to notice, let me see if this MACD down here is configured. Yeah, so I have the MACD configured to the 3 day, so that even if I jump around on this one to different time frames, I'm just going to go to the week. The MACD remains at the 3 day, so I have manually set it to always be at the 3 day. The reason for that is because of this. Um, Actually, this is perfect. On the weekly, notice down here, the 13th of April, this signaled to go in on the NASDAQ, right? And then up here, like this line right here, said to sell, but it said to sell because we were coming up into the trough. And so the reason being why I wasn't too worried, because I also had the EMA ribbon turned on, and the EMA ribbon basically said, no, continue. The difference is that the EMA ribbon has triggered a short. That's why you see the little red stuff right here. And but on the weekly, notice we got a sell signal up here on April 11th. We just got a buy signal here on the 23rd of May. Okay? And so on a weekly, this is saying you're all good. Don't panic, don't sweat it, you're all good. Now, switching using the MACD, we got a breakout confirmation here as well. Which again, I hate to say it like this, but this is why a lot of technicians say that Bitcoin is correlated with 4 minutes here, which is why a lot of technicians say that Bitcoin is correlated with the Nasdaq specifically, and this kind of proves that it is. But to some extent, I don't want to say 100% correlation. No, you see, like this one on April 21st signaled to get out, and it got you out. Right now, it's saying get in on the Nasdaq. Here, it said go in, but then it switched its mind and said actually get out. So the MACD can get you in and out. Now, watch this. I'm gonna do this like this. The MACD got you out December 2nd of last year. Literally December 2nd, it confirmed to get you out. Now you'll say, well, how do you know that was the major exit, right? Because if you go back to this one where it was a breakout, October 28th, this was a breakout, and the breakout was occurring while this cycle was playing. And so this cross right here, if you look at the big cycle, it signaled that we were probably going to go into a significant decline. And so on, what is this? November 29 of 2021, this said get out. So basically at the end of November, this said just get out. If you follow Justin MACD, it kept you out of trouble and you dodged all this massacre here right up until March 22. But really, even then, it got you back out. It said, you know what? I changed my mind. Get out. So it kept you out of trouble this whole time. It tried to help you here. So it got you back right here at 14,000. And then it got you out again at 14,000. So you broke even on this play if you followed the MACD. Now it's saying go back in. The thing that it's kind of concerning here is this, or I mean, not concerning, but the interesting news here is this: we're above the middle pivot point on this one, but we're still below the 200-day moving average. So this MACD needs to break above the 12,800, which is the red line. We have to break above it in order to begin a final rally. And I say a final rally because of this. I have a trajectory sometime Q1. I'm not gonna say February 10th. I'm gonna say Q1. So I'm gonna put some markers here for people to understand how this works. What the fuck is okay? So between January and April, there you go. Sometime in here, we may see an absolute bottom of the NASDAQ, which means right now this little MACD might break out and give us a top somewhere around August. And from August onward, or even maybe from July, I want to say, if I were to use this small little cycle, nah, it would seem like really somewhere around here. I would say middle of August. Yeah, and this is not an exact time. Remember, the cycles always say like a time, so a range would be sometime between July 11th to July. Actually, I should do it like that. I'm sorry, people. I should mark it as a range. At sometime between these dates, we should see a top, and it might be the final top. Okay, we're good. So the MACD might signal, and the reason I say that is because if we're following the cycles and everything, and this trough here did play out like you see right here, we topped out at this bottom, this middle, and this large right here, and then we began the descent because again the range was here to here. Then expect a top to occur sometime between July 11th and October. So it's this range somewhere in here. So I'll know more once we get to the closer to this. I'll know pinpointing it more. But this doesn't change the fact that down here I do have a massacre coming in Q1 2023. I'll just say it like that. And I know a lot of technicians are like doubting this, but I do believe we might have a significant bear rally into August before we see some sort of major collapse. Okay, so 8 minutes and okay, so now let's close this out. I just want everybody to understand why I do see a rally here as well. And look, we had a rally that lasted a minute. This lasted a minute. This was choppy. This was choppy. This lasted a minute. This kind of lasted a minute. So I'm expecting this one here to be the final hurrah of the year on the 9th. So this system here is, there's something very peculiar I want to show, and this is the coin that goes against Bitcoin. Now the reason I want to showcase this one today is because I want everybody to notice the yellow line. The I have, this is the moving averages that I talk about. If you want to use them, this is the indicator. Moving average 50-day, the 200, and the yellow's the 20. I talk about them all the time. I only use the three, and so I'm putting out this indicator. If any of you want to use it, this is the easiest way to forecast shit. This is the 50-day moving average, the 200-day moving average, and then the 20, which is the yellow. Okay. And so the yellow line here is the 20-day moving average. The reason I mark these yellow is because I'm talking about the yellow line. This is where it crosses. Notice it crossed up above the 50-day. The rally kicked in so hard. And then it crossed down. The decline continued all the way down here. But then it crossed up here. And then the rally continued up. But now look at the projections. Whoops. The 20-day yellow line, look at that. Sometime on June 14, it's scheduled to cross down. And when that happens, if it does stay the trajectory, we should expect this coin to continue its descent, and we should see Bitcoin rise significantly. The danger here is this point, this little window from now until that date. I'm going to go like this. This area right here is where we could see volatility like a motherfucker. We could see Bitcoin uh, try to move down, up, even though we got the MACD confirming. But this here would signal that when this crosses, like, it's scheduled, right? Because this is a forecast. That's why you see the dots. That's not the current, that's the forecast. That on June 14th, when they cross, or maybe actually, oh, it just moved down a little bit. So that would signal that it would. But I want to actually move it slightly to the right. I would say June 15. Yeah, I'll say June 15 because it looks like they're not crossing. I would say they cross here on June 15. When that cross occurs, if we look historically, what happens when these moves happen? 12 minutes. Okay. If we see what happens historically, crossing up over the 20, crossing above the 50 means a rally. The the 20-day yellow crossing below the blue 50 means a decline. The reverse, the 20-day crossing above the 50 blue means a rally. So if that's the case and we're projecting a cross to the downside on the Bitcoin short, that means that tentatively from the 15th of June onward, we should see a decline in this coin, a strong decline. And then that means Bitcoin should rally. Now, that decline, I would put it out until July 13 right here. I'm doing it again. I'm giving you exact targets. But the reason this coin cycles tend to be pretty sharp, you see, like right here, on November 9th, it bounced according to the cycle. And it did peak in like almost dead center of the cycle. And it did bottom almost to the day on March 29. And then here, it's being pulled into the trough. And so that if this crosses, that means we might continue a descent on this coin right up until July 12th before it tries to cat bounce and then decline again. So, oh, this is perfect. This is exactly why I have the August timeline right there. So the August might be the peak when this coin crashes to the bottom and then begins a strong rally. So that falls in line with the projections on Bitcoin. Yeah, that would fall in line with the projections of Bitcoin. As this coin may collapse into August, that means this will be the final, and I mean the final peak of Bitcoin before we begin. So this year, March 30, 2022, let me go back and see what was Bitcoin at that point. Actually, let me go to the weekly then, so it just moves everything in one shot. Auto adjust. Oh, look, March 15. What was the date on that? So April 1st, 2022. Let's go with April 1st, 2022. Yeah, see, it would signal right here that it was a top on Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin topped on the first week of April, this coin bottom, which is the inverse. So the same would be expected here. August 16, roughly, and I don't want to give the dates like that because it's always subject to change, but I'll say this one seems to be pretty close on accuracy, so I'm just going to go like this. August 10th to the August 22nd we should see this coin bottom, which would mean Bitcoin would probably begin to top. Well, actually, I have it right here, sometime in August, in this area. So I'm gonna do this. The target range for the final probably top of Bitcoin right here. I'm gonna put it here. Yeah, somewhere around there. We should expect probably Bitcoin to rally and top out somewhere in here before it begins a descent into the end of the year. You see, I even have it here into the end of the year. This is in January, so these are now actual projections. So now you see how this would work. So you saw the new indicator, the moving averaging forecast indicator. So use that to your advantage, people. Let's move on. 5 minutes for the dollar. The MACD, I'll show you how I have it configured. MACD is configured to be on the 10-day chart, and it's fixed so that even if I switch this will stay at the 10-day. 16, okay. So here, the reason I did that is because in this cycle, so I can pinpoint, and that's why I marked it here. On July 24th, the dollar was signaled to rally, and look, it did. And then over here, May 25th of 2018, it rallied again, and it did. Currently, on July 26, 2021, we crossed up on the MACD using the cycles, and it did. And so the question is, what happens here? This is where everything becomes a projection. So I don't. It's difficult to pinpoint because we got a death cross and then immediately we got a golden cross here. So just let me switch to 3-day. Yeah. So you see, hard to tell. I would say we gotta correct somewhere into July, and then from July, we probably might have a rally into the end of the year, but then sometime into 2023, we might have a stock market rally as this declines. But then March of 2024, we might have a total and complete destruction of everything in the market because the dollar's going to go up again. So we might have a final rally or something. This is very hard to project the dollar. But again, that's why I follow this. When I see these confirmations, I know that the market's in trouble. Because as the dollar goes up, everything else goes down. Just remember that little detail. Dollar up, stock market, gold and silver and crypto are down. Dollar down, stock market up, gold, silver and crypto are also up. It's the inverse relationship. And I know a lot of people say that that's not true anymore. I would beg to differ. Okay. Right. So back into the original chart to wrap up this video and leave it wrapped up in there. Um, because of everything I just showed, and that 20-day here scheduled to cross down on to actually look right here, it crossed down on the 10, and we have this one on the short inbound July 11th. So yeah, so it might signal that, see again, on August we might get the extreme bottom on the inverse coin, which means an extreme top on Bitcoin. How big of a high on Bitcoin, I cannot tell. But still, now that we got the MACD confirming a breakout, everything seems to be lining up. However, I will say this. We have two critical dates coming up. This Friday is a big day. So I'm going to go to the 12th to show that. Friday is a big day because we need to break up out of this little zone. We need to get above 30,499 to be into bull zone. But then Friday, no, I'm sorry, next week we have the market god talking. What's his face? Jerome Powell, FOMC, right here. Interest rates decision. And the interest rate is what makes the dollar go up or down. Remember, interest rates going up means the dollar goes up. Dollar up means gold, silver, stock market, and cryptos go down. So this meeting will also dictate what might happen. And then you have at 11:30 Jerome Powell speaking. And so that's why I'm saying we may rally into this Friday, or something has to happen. But MACD has confirmed the breakout. But still, that means you gotta wait till the 15th when Jerome Powell speaks. Good luck, everybody.